Hello, my beautiful listeners. I am Nayomie, and this is the very first episode of the Heart and Her with Nayomie podcast. I'm happy to have you. I'm so excited because I've wanted to do this for a long time, and I'm finally doing it. And so, for the very first topic, I wanted to pick something that I found interesting, something that I found would be helpful, some information that I would like for people around me to have, and something that I found to be helpful for myself in situations that I found myself. And so today we're going to be talking about improving the quality of your relationship, because here is the space where we learn the ways that we can make these things better for ourselves, because life is challenging as it is and everybody's occupied with one thing or the other, that you forget that human relationships is where you can make better or actually ruin your life experiences. So sometimes we go many hours wondering why a relationship didn't work, and why someone you loved hurt you still so badly. Did they do that, and why do these things happen? And at the end of every relationship, you look at its journey and you wonder what went wrong. You spend a lot of time thinking about what you could have done better, what they could have done better, how this could have been handled that wouldn't have led to that inevitable end. And I was talking to a friend who was devastated about the end of her relationship, and she had me thinking about something as she said. So apart from the betrayal and the drama that caused the end of the relationship, she said, it hurts to think that I didn't actually enjoy the last 4 years. And that is a hard pill to swallow at the end of a 4-year relationship. It means that you didn't enjoy the entire journey of the relationship, and was it then worth it? And if we're being honest with ourselves, you know that it is the case most of the time for us. It ends and you find out that you didn't enjoy it enough. You spend a lot of time giving yourself to a person in a relationship when all you're getting is the bare minimum. Sometimes you condition yourself to give the bare minimum so that when the betrayal comes, it doesn't hurt as bad, right? When the betrayal comes, it will be easier for you to walk away. But did you have a good time though? I think that is something that we have to find ourselves considering. Did you have a good time in the relationship at all? Did you would you take back the time that you spent with that person? Would you take back that time? Would you take back the experiences? Because if you would, then why did you do it in the first place? One thing that is certain about most relationships, including marriages, friendships, is that as long as we're immortal, they will end. This is not me saying that love doesn't last forever. It's that we do not live forever. It's a fact. So there is a duration of time that everyone has to spend in our lives, with us. There is a duration of time that you have to enjoy a particular person in your life, with whatever kind of relationship you have with them. So that limited time, you have to make sure is good. But these relationships in all their beautiful shapes, they all happen in our journey through life and has an effect on our happiness, whether we like it or not. Whether you consider it to be so, they are part of your life. You'd like to think that the people around you don't have such a huge influence on your happiness or sadness or the quality of your emotions, but they do. You have to make sure that you're indeed enjoying these relationships. You have to make sure that you're enjoying yourself. So you have to improve the quality of your relationships for yourself. You have to improve the quality of your relationship to then in turn improve the quality of your life. But the fact is that the effort that it takes to improve the quality of your relationship must be brought to the table by you before requiring it of your partner or whoever else we're talking about. Firstly, what is the ideal relationship to you? Whatever you see as standard is what I suppose you think you deserve in the best case scenario. And for who you are and the effort that you put in, you're worthy of your desires, worthy of your desired relationship, worthy of respect, worthy of happiness, love, and worthy to enjoy this life as it is. So we are all here going through a lot of things. The last thing that you need is to be the cause of your own sadness. So life is hard enough and things spiral out of control. We have things that life throws at us that we cannot control, but with human relationships, you have the power to make better the experience, and you need to. We all have the desire to walk through life with someone, share a bit of the burden with somebody, and the fact is that you cannot ignore your social needs. You cannot ignore the fact that you actually need to be around people, be around humans, be around family, be around loved ones, and enjoy the fact that you're not on this earth alone. To have a beautiful relationship with your spouse, it takes work. Nothing good comes easy. A quality relationship takes work. A lot of patience, forgiveness, effort, honesty, trust, loyalty. All this apart from love. And I'm not here to tell you that love conquers all, actually. I believe in love. I believe in love. I believe you have to honor the feeling by honoring the people that you feel those things for, by showing them indeed how much you love them and spending and sharing that love with them. So what I would recommend is that for every relationship, a standard should be set on how things work, how we care for each other, how we're there for each other. You know, what would you call the good stuff of a relationship? So you have to put that on a schedule. You know, you have to have some sort of plan as to how you both are going to enjoy each other. The things that create the feel-good moments, what becomes your favorite memories of each other, you have to make sure that those things are put in the plan and the times that you spend together. So if you decide between yourselves that you're going to give each other some sort of emotional support, I'm going to be there with you, I'm going to cook for you, have cook dates, go to the movies together, buy gifts for each other once a month, you know, say, okay, like every 2 weeks we're going to try a new restaurant. You know, I'm going to make sure that I dedicate an amount of time to making sure that you grow as a person. And those little things that you want to be, those little ways that you want to be there for each other should be definite. There shouldn't be things that happen by chance, things that happen only when you think about it. It should be decided that, oh, you know, we're going to talk to each other often as possible. I'd like to hear your voice at least every day, at least twice every day. Not that you have an exact time as to when these things happen, but a time frame. And now within your, as adults, within your income, you are aware that this is the amount of money that you can spend on some kind of enjoyment that you want. So you can say, I can afford to take you out on a date at least twice a month, right? We can afford to go to the movies once a month. We can afford to do certain things. And then there's so many inexpensive ways of sharing time with each other and sharing memories with each other. So you kind of have to be creative and intentional about the things that you do for your partner. And so these discussions must be had. All this good stuff. Now, do they go out the window when anger comes in, when issues happen? So you have to make sure that you're loving through the anger. So when you have decided that, okay, at the beginning of your relationship, we are going to go out on a date, right? Every 2 weeks. And then within that time, you have some sort of argument. Are you going to say, you know what, I really do not want to see you? I really do not, and decide that date passes without you seeing this person, a whole 2 days passes without you hearing from this person, and you falter on and compromise on those standards that you have created at the beginning of your relationship. It goes on to get to the point where it reduces with every single problem until there's really nothing left to save at the end of the relationship. Do you really want to find yourself in a situation where you intentionally caused the end of the relationship. You intentionally made sure that this was a lot less better than it was at the beginning. So what we're doing is we're making sure that those beautiful memories that we created at the beginning of the relationship are part of the relationship throughout its lifespan. And so you try to make sure that while you're upset, you still suck it up and go out, right? You still uphold the responsibilities you have to your partner while you're upset. So now, even if I don't want to see you, even if it's going to be annoying, even if I think I need a lot of space from you right now, you're supposed to put yourself through it, sit through it. And even if you won't reconcile right away, something right there is going to make you laugh. At least you're trying, at least you're present in the moment, and you're doing what you need to do for the relationship. You are right there and you are trying. And so even if you burst into an argument, you know that you're moving forward into communicating about the said problem. But not to say that I was giving a friend an example. I said, so imagine that within you and between you and your partner, he's supposed to pick you up every day after work. And then you have an argument and he simply doesn't show up and you simply do not talk. And let's say it's a rainy day and it's stressful and he decides, you know what, I'm too angry at you and I'm not going to come pick you up. And just like that, it stops to be something that is definite between the both of you. It stops to be something that is, it stops to be consistent. It stops to be consistent. And then you, little by little, those responsibilities will reduce. Little by little, until you find that both of you are in a relationship and you're bored. You're simply bored of each other. And is that what we want? Is less what we want? We must give the best to get the best. So when it ends, you know that you felt good, you know that it was good, it was worth it was worth your time. So agree between yourselves to go on loving each other when it is uncomfortable to do so. Allow yourself to love deeply, allow yourself to enjoy the feeling, allow yourself, see how far and how much you can truly care and how much of a good person you can be in a relationship, so that when it passes, you know that you indeed had a good time. You can console yourself with the fact that this was a good time spent with this person, even if it felt bad for a time. And so they say that it's better to love and lose it than to not love at all. And the fact is that when the chaos happens and the relationship ends, or if the chaos happens and the relationship ends, you find that it will be easier to heal because the beautiful memories greatly outweigh the actual problems that you had in the relationship. And that is because you both put in the time and the effort. It is outdated to have undefined relationships in our generation. They're relationships that you kind of have to define. So when those undefined relationships come around, you have to make sure that somehow, somewhere, you're having a conversation as to what it is and what it's going to be in your life. So you don't give to get, like Chloe says. Khloe Kardashian, I mean. You don't give to get, you give to give. You give because you can. You give because it is a gift to be able to exude that positivity into the world. It is a gift to be able to exude that positivity into the world. And when you have built a relationship, depending on how important it is to you, you remember that many things can end it. And we are mortals. It could be death, it could be distance, growing apart. There's so many reasons why a relationship will end. And there's so many things that could come in between you and this loved one. Several reasons can make a relationship meet its end, but those reasons should not be you. It should not be your anger. It should not be something that could have been controlled. For example, your rage. Now, rage can either immediately or over time cause the end of the relationship. So it is something that each of us needs to put in check. So like they say, an angry man is not a wise man. So you teach yourself to still love, care, and respect your partner while angry, while upset. Sometimes you find that you have built resentment for your current partner, and you no longer have feelings of butterflies. You no longer feel the butterflies Because when things have happened, you're just at a point where you're bored and you think, it can't get any better. This relationship has seen its best days, and in fact, we're heading for the end because we're not feeling how we used to. As much as you feel that, you know that your partner is also getting a little bored. And now, when you find yourself in this position, like I said, it's all in the work. Find the problems. Why do I feel like this? Why did it feel like that at the beginning? So instead of heading towards the end of the relationship, see if you can make it better. See that you can go back to enjoying the relationship. So you find what those things are that are currently dampening the love that you feel for this person. Because those things that you loved in the beginning, they must still be there. And so you handle it. You find that when you've been in a relationship for a while, you see the imperfections in your partner. You see those things that you don't really like, things that they've done, said, habits that they've had, some ways that they've probably made you feel. And then you know that it's difficult to look past some of those things. In fact, that is why I keep saying the rage, when it comes, you have to be careful what you do with it. You have to be careful what you say, because whatever it is that you have said and done exists between the both of you as an experience, no matter what you do to apologize for it. And so, while forgiveness is divine, forgetting is not just as easy. So forgiveness is a process. And so you have to be careful when you're about to offend somebody. You have to be careful what you're saying, because it kind of will be used against you in the court of law. Well, in the court of love is what they say. It is unfair to demand perfection because you are not indeed perfect. So you cannot expect this person to give you everything that you desire without seeing truly what their flaws are. And so you have to understand as much as they understand your flaws. That is what a relationship is. You're going to come to know certain things about each other that you really are not comfortable with somebody knowing about you, but it's okay. It's okay to learn truly who a person is. It's okay to see them for who they are and have them see you as you are, because that is indeed what sharing your life with someone is. And so you kind of have to, when you find yourself in those bored positions, kind of have to find a way to relieve those things that made you feel so good in the beginning of the relationship. And now there's a question of intimacy through a relationship and how it dies down over time. I strongly believe that intimacy is a skill that needs to be learned and improved and talked about, in fact. And so the amount of effort that you put into every other studying, every other goal in your life, you have to put it into your relationship. And so you find that the intimacy is not feeling as good as it should. There are so many ways to make better. There's so many ways to communicate how best to please your partner. There's so many ways to find. There's so many things to see online about how best to do these things. There are videos. Not that I recommend, but there are ways that you can learn how to better please your partner and how to enjoy your time together. So do not let yourself go. A lot of times, it's not even about you not having that skill that I mentioned. It is you choosing to let yourself go. It is you choosing to relax and not taking it just as seriously as you did in the beginning. All that chasing, all that enthusiasm and the desire to impress the person is gone. But that is wrong and that is sad, because in fact you are destroying the thing that you have and love. And so you have to continuously put in that effort, because that effort is what gives you that good relationship that you so desire. Study your partner and make the effort to love them in the variety of ways. Make the effort to love them in as many ways as they like, as many ways as you like, what comes natural to you and what they love. Communicate and compromise gently. And so why I say compromise gently is there are a couple of things you shouldn't be compromising on. And so you find that when you love someone so much, it is easy to let go of a lot of things, and you do not understand where it becomes a disservice for yourself. because of the effort that you want to put into the relationship. And so while you're choosing to compromise, you give it a real thought. You understand that you're not doing yourself a disservice. You're simply trying to make better the relationship, and nobody is truly taking advantage of you or truly changing you for the worse or changing you into something that you shouldn't be. And so take criticism. Understand that you're not perfect. Listen to your partner while they complain. So while you're having these discussions, let it not be one-sided. Understand between the both of you that what you're doing is for the betterment of the relationship, and that you have to learn each other. And so this is where this episode comes to an end, and I truly hope that this was helpful. Thank you very much, and see you in the next episode. If you're here, I would like you to subscribe and give this a like, and definitely share. Thank you.